I wish good things to you who's watching this. I am Alexey, and with me today is a special guest, the 2020 champion of the United States of America and member of the Team United States at this World Championship, Allan Ropski. Hi, Allan.
Hello, Alexei. Happy to be here. Thank you for the invite.
So as you can tell, this is not going to be quite an impartial stream. Today, Team USA is playing against Team Chile for all the marbles. It's the last round of the group stage. It's round 7, and the United States really needs this win in order to advance to the playoffs. I currently now have all the all the teams, all the standings on the screen. So I remind you that the top 3 teams advance to the playoffs. In Group D, Portugal has pretty much secured this, and then Argentina and France are almost there, but their position is quite precarious. So if the United States defeats Team Chile, and then they need to hope for the loss of Team France, or maybe a very heavy loss of Team Argentina, so like just a loss of one of these 2 teams, then the United States squeezes right in. And of course, the same is true for Team Chile. If Team Chile wins today, they just need to hope for the loss of one of these 2 teams and then advance. So, Alan, how are you feeling about the odds for today's match and Team USA's prospect?
Yeah, it's going to be a tight one. And Chile's got some really strong players, but I think there's a couple good matchups, and I think there's a chance we could pull out a win. It's going to be difficult to win all 4 or 5, like we would probably need to advance, but I'm excited for it. I think I like our chances a little more that I'm not playing today. I have not had a good series this year.
Well, despite that, did you know that you are on somebody's fantasy team? Because, of course, I remind you that there's this big fantasy Carcassonne game going on in our channel, and somebody picked you.
Oh man, now I feel bad, especially after the first week when a scheduling mistake on my side and I totally missed. So apologies to my selector. I will promise you next year I will come back in full force.
Alrighty. Well, speaking of the odds of United States to win, I'm going to show some stats that I had prepared. I'm not sure. Maybe you should probably open the stream as well in another tab just so that you can see as well. Wait, where are my stats? Stats. How was it called? Nope, not this one. Oh yeah, this one. So, as you can see, in the ELO calculator, we have something very interesting because the United States has actually Chile outrated on 3 tables: on table 1, on table 4, and on table 5. Especially on table 4, where the highest rated Team United States player, Zach Bell, is going to be playing against also a strong player from Chile, Vinere. But still, United States has Chile outrated on 3 tables, but nevertheless, the ELO calculator says that Chile has a 57% chance of winning this match if you take into account all the ratings and nothing else. Well, in that case, and this is because on tables 2 and tables 3, Chile has the United States heavily outrated, so the Claudio Jorquera on table 2, who's almost a master, will be playing against Rubian Moss, a Bay Area Rube, on table 2, and there's quite a rating difference. And the strongest player in Chile, Diego Acevedo, with the not so modest screen name GDLK, will be playing against, how do you pronounce, Justin Etier or Justin Ethier, or what's the proper way?
Yeah, so as an American, I would say Ethier, but I believe correct pronunciation is ETA, as you said.
Okay, makes sense. Oh, in the meantime, we have hi Melvin, hi Manuel, hi Horim, hi Glavier. Uh, so several people already in the chat. Do meeple the like button, and also do let us know who you're rooting for and who do you think is going to win this match. So, Alan, even though the ELO calculator says 42% or whatever, there has been plenty of teams have already defeated the ELO calculator many times. So realistically, how does the United States path to victory look like? Which tables are you hoping for?
Yeah, I think, I was looking at this a little bit earlier, and I'm kind of most interested in that first table with admitted. I believe, if I remember correctly, I believe he plays with a lot of expansions and not necessarily the base game. So I think that's going to be kind of the deciding table for us.
Mm-hmm. Right, and so you would expect sort of on tables 2, 3, 4, 5, the highest rated player to win.
Yeah, I think those are all probably going to go towards the ELO. I didn't get a chance to look at a lot of the individuals. I'm pretty familiar with Crocodile Fundy, and I think he actually dropped a little bit lately too. I feel like he was above 600 for a while too. But yeah, I think the calculator is going to get it just about right.
Alrighty, well, then I'm thinking this. We have still a few minutes before the match. Why don't we introduce the players? Can you introduce the United States players? I'm going to introduce the Chileans.
It's so funny. I was trying to find a list of everybody's first name, and I could not do it. So I'm going to be struggling to find everybody's first name. And actually,
well, actually, it should be quite easy because on tables 3 and 4, the first name is in the screen name.
Perfect. Yep. And let me take a look.
Yeah, and actually, I mean, it's pretty simple. It's Alan, Rubian, Justin, Zach, and Crocodile. Very simple.
Oh, that's Alan. I was going to say, I know there's 3 of us, and I couldn't remember who the other 2 were. Right. Thank you.
So the Chilean players then. We have, first of all, the former captain Edgar Townsend on table 1, who has recently regained his rating after his loss to Team France. Not to Team France, but to another team before, I don't remember quite which. Claudio Jorquera, of course, as you see, quite strong player. Diego Acevedo, as I mentioned before, I think is the strongest player in Chile, and also somebody whom I picked for my Fantasy 5. Then, of course, on table 4, I don't think Zach Bell is going to have an easy time because he's playing against Jorim Meyer with a screen name Vineria. He's the most recent Mind Sports Olympiad gold medalist. And Adan Laceres, I don't quite know his name, but he was rated like above 500 for sure and has certainly will pose some resistance to the player with a screen name Crocodile Fundy.
Actually, yeah, and he is the third Alan. So admitted, Crocodile Fundy, and myself. We are the three Allens.
All righty. Then it makes sense. Jorim May is in the chat and is already doing some trash talk against Zach Bell, understandably. And you know what? During this match, of course we'll be commenting on the match, but I really wanted to stream a United States game. That's why, by the way, I'm staying up so late, because it's kind of, so it's already Saturday in Europe, just so you know, because I think United States has such huge potential for Carcassonne, and just as the United States has been in large responsible for the Catan boom, I hope that the United States could pick things up with Carcassonne and make Carcassonne just as big as Catan. How realistic do you think my dreams are, Alan?
I share the similar dream, and so does Carrie. And she's actually, I spoke with her today and yesterday. It's not quite there yet, but we have been speaking about getting our own website set up, She talked about a Facebook page too. So, Carrie, if you're in the chat, feel free to plug those if you got any further. But I feel like, yeah, we have struggled a little bit. As big as we are out here, for whatever reason, we just haven't had a good following. I don't quite understand it myself. Even here in Chicago, where I live, I started to go out and do a little bit more meetups with some of the board game groups and try to get people involved. And it's slow to start, but I feel like, especially with the pandemic, at least BGA has had a really explosive increase in users. And so, we occasionally reach out to some players that we see out there that are doing really well and invite them in. And I feel like between our Discord and our group on BGA, we're slowly growing. So it's going to take a little bit more momentum to get there, but I feel good about it.
Okay, I like to hear your optimism for sure. So, I reckon we start with admitted, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great starting point.
So the matches have started. I'm opening up his game. And the players have already played a couple of moves. Admitted here is playing with the black meeples, and the Chilean player Edgar Townsend is playing with the blue meeples. Neither of the players have made points. Each of them have little city pieces over here and over here, and I assume that black is about to take a road. This one or this one, I'm not sure. Let's find out. It's actually okay. So he takes the road on the left, which is not what I would have done, but okay, it's a minor little detail here. Probably Edgar is going to continue this city, and the fact that black now thought for full 30 seconds about an opening move is a bit surprising to me, because normally when I play with Admitted, he's usually quite fast, maybe even sometimes too fast. Is that your experience as well, or do you expect for your teammates to deliberate a little bit more today?
Yeah, I kind of find, at least when I was watching the games, we do tend to play pretty fast. I know I do, and I've had trouble. I think that's kind of why I struggled so much this year. But you're right, he did take some time, and it's good to see. I think with the position we in, as important as today is, yeah, I think we need to take that extra couple seconds and really think about where we're going with the moves.
Yeah, well, for now, it's a very tight position, lots of mini battles. So we have this Chilean road plugging into this American city, then this little road by blue for 2 points, and another road by blue for 2 points. Like, how many roads blue wants to have? And of course, there's going to be a fourth road by blue, but this one's really justified, because look at these 4 quick points that are going to be so juicy in just a second. And with that, the Chilean player has a slight advantage on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised he took that third road too. They have some trouble getting rid of those.
I mean, eventually he's going to take those meeples back, which is going to take a little bit of time. And also now it's a bit less important to take this meeple back, because it's tied in together with the Black Monastery. The Black Monastery, of course, will have the points advantage, 5 versus 2 in this mini battle. But still, meeple-wise, it's 1 versus 1. And this is why the Chilean player doesn't bother about the road too much and continues his other road and starts a new city as well. In the meantime, black continues his monastery and city at the same time. Both players are making quite natural moves. So we have even more players in the chat. Hi Self-Evident, hi Mingo, hi Carol, hi Vladimir, hi Lias. See, we have mostly Chilean flags. So if the commentator is rooting for the United States, I guess all the viewers are going to be rooting for Chile. I have a very selfish reason to root for the US, and that's because the United States anthem is easier to play on the piano than the Chilean anthem. But if Chile wins, I'm gonna do my best.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm familiar with theirs. Um, Not that I want you to have to play it, but it'd be interesting to hear. There we go. It's a nice close.
Yeah, so whilst players are exchanging natural moves, Black managed to complete a 10-point city on the right, and Blue managed to complete a 4-point city on the left. Now completing one of his roads, getting rid of one of his road meeples. So there we go. Now starting a new city. And now actually, with just this one move, Blue solved his road situation, because he really has only one road open here on the right next to the monastery. This road doesn't count because Blue will be more than happy if this road stays open forever, because this, look at this mini battle, 3 points for Blue over here, 1 point for Black over here, +2 advantage for Blue.
Yeah, definitely glad he didn't close that one off just yet.
Well, obviously, you don't want to necessarily help your opponent. And by the way, also same goes for Black, right? So that was actually a very good move that Admitted did. Because instead of just getting his meeple back, he chose to take 2 points over here because he wants to get his meeple back, but he will wait for a starting tile or for a dagger tile, a city cap with a turn, so that he gets his meeple back, but Blue doesn't get his meeple back and still needs to work for it. Of course, the downside of this move that Black just played was leaving this empty city cap, which Edgar is more than happy to pick up. There are some downsides to this as well, because you see, if Allan were to get something like this, maybe a triple city tile over here, or any crossroads tile over here, it's possible to start an attack on both of these meeples simultaneously. One thing that I wanted to ask you, Allan, so I've seen that the United States players have improved their ratings quite a bit, especially Zach Bell, who's close to 700 now and probably was over this threshold at some point, if I'm not mistaken. How does that happen? Do you just play a lot of games and it comes with experience, or do you have team training? Do you have training? Do you have practice sessions, or do you share experience with each other in some other ways?
Yeah, I don't think not as a big group. We haven't done too much. I know that I have, before some of the tournaments, done some practice games with whomever's playing, and just a friendly game just to get the flow going if we didn't have time to do a separate game. Now, I feel like last year we did a little bit more, and again, I've been a little bit slow this year. So, yeah, I'm looking at it now. He has slowly increased himself over the last couple months. And you're right, he did hit the master mark a couple weeks ago, it looks like.
Well, in the meantime, events have been speeding up at this table. The Chilean player has a 6-point advantage as a result of this fantastic tile. He drew the splitter and was able to finish a 10-point city over here, whilst Admitted still has this not so impressive looking 2-point city that he'll probably need to develop right now. In addition to this, Blue has a couple of open cities over here. Very interesting move. So Admitted decides to go for the field, and rightfully so. It's already worth 6 points, and as this city on the left is going to be finished, the city will grow to 9 points. But in addition to that, Black is trying to thwart the development of this little city piece, hoping to either block it later, maybe from this side by grabbing a crossroads, then another crossroads, and then another crossroads. So just surround everything with crossroads and hope that this meeple is trapped forever with 1 point, or in case of emergency, maybe black can simply take another city tile and equalize this city. How about now?
There you
No,
go.
because remember what we talked about 5 minutes earlier. He was very patient. He waited for a suitable tile, and he was able to get his meeple back without giving a meeple back to blue. But blue now can place the straight line over here, and look at this. He can actually finish his road without being forced to spend a road tile. This is something that's very valuable in Carcassonne. So he's just gonna take a straight road, get 2 points and a meeple back, possibly right now, possibly a little bit later. But in the meantime, Allan is proceeding with his plan of grabbing 3 crossroads and entrapping this meeple. So step 1 out of 3 complete, 4 points for the road, and this city square is becoming a little bit sensitive.
Yeah, there's some really nice spots in the middle too for those cathedrals if depending on what he does right now. Maybe turn that end cap up towards the middle to oh, there you go. Okay.
He does neither of these things. He really wants to finish off this city, but that's actually quite interesting. I'm not quite sure about this move because it can easily be attacked, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 triangles are already on the table, which means only 3 of them remaining, which means that statistically blue will need to wait quite a long time before he can finish this city, if ever. Of course, blue, if he wants, he can now continue this city, but it will not be possible without making this meeple somewhat vulnerable. So let's see what he chooses here.
Yeah, where are you going in this position? Are you taking the 2 easy points and not constraining? Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense. And also it slightly, ever so slightly limits Admitted's field over here. Still, as you said, these 2 monasteries are waiting to happen. There's still 5 monasteries remaining. By the way, here on the left, there's a nice monastery spot, and here's a monastery spot, and here's a monastery spot, and here's a monastery spot for the road, and here's a monastery spot, and here's a monastery spot as well, and here's a monastery spot for blue. If he scores a monastery with the road, he can meeple it with tempo. It's just a Vatican waiting to happen. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I kind of like taking that one on the left right now, even with this end cap, and maybe doubling up on that field.
Ah, like over here into one of the monastery spots. That's actually quite interesting. So this is already going to be another 6-point field, and then possibly a 9-point field if you meeple, if you get one more city cap. Or you could also go over here. I'm not sure which one you were suggesting. If you go in this spot, then you could even create a coin flip for an evil hamster if you want. But I think one move that Ad's definitely considering here is to place the city cap over here simply just to protect his city, but he decides to start a new city instead, which is why Edgar's probably going to limit the main city of black by placing it over here, perhaps with a meeple, perhaps without a meeple. Of course, some moves to be considered as well. He may want to go over here to continue his city, and he does in fact do that. Of course, his road immediately becomes vulnerable over here, which black should take advantage of, if you ask me. And then if he does this, then this city will also start being vulnerable as well. But it does not matter because the Chilean player immediately draws the crossroads. I'm wondering here, as Admitted's teammate, are you in your mind rooting for the American player to make good moves or to draw good tiles?
Yeah, that's a great question. guess we need a little bit of both at this point, right? Um, you know, the tiles that you draw, I guess we're far enough into the game, you kind of know where you need to go. Early on, it's not always obvious. But I feel like he's played a good game so far. I don't think he's made any glaring mistakes.
Except for the
The
one we moved before. So I
yeah,
think this move was a little bit iffy because just allowing the city to get finished was, well, certainly quite painful for Black. I mean, I see the idea behind this move, but knowing how few triangles there are remaining, maybe it was worth trying to thwart this city. But also hindsight's 2020 when you know which tiles have been drawn. So it's not like it was a incredible mistake or everything, but this 10-point city by the Chilean player is sure painful. But the Chilean player is responding in kind, adding 2, potentially 4 points to the American player. I think it was really unnecessary. I see the idea by Edgar. He's trying to block the city of Black, but there's still plenty of city caps remaining, and all he did was sacrificed a bunch of points.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
So now Blue is trying to fix that by dropping another farmer. So he drops a 3-point farmer over here, slightly restricts Black City. And if Black does draw a city cap, which is still possible, or is it? Wait a second. There are no vanilla city caps remaining. Here they are, all of them. And then there are no left-handed daggers remaining because look at this, 1, 2, 3. And there are no dividers remaining because remember how Blue draw a divider for this. So the only type of city cap that fits into this square is the hourglass, which is why I presume Black goes over here, but it's quite an iffy play. If you ask me, this tile belongs over here, and then you're hoping for different city caps in different places. Because now the city will need 2 city caps instead of 1, and I'm pretty sure that Edgar will be able to corral it from this side or from this side.
Mhm. You definitely interested to start seeing those cathedrals come out and see how that changes things. I still think you got to go for those middles. Actually, I think both of them. Yeah, both the road cathedrals are out there. So
Wait, so then the move that is possible, as Edgar, you can go over here and meeple a 2-point road. I think it's a really good move, but will he notice it? And the idea is, well, okay, so he just goes for the field, which is another consideration. But then, actually, as Black, you can take advantage of that. You can try keep the field of your opponent small, and then you can simply build barricades. For example, if you get some sort of Dorito tile, of course, there's only 1 Dorito remaining, and you need it over here. But if you somehow manage to build barricades and preserve this 9-point meeple versus these 2 meeples, which together, when merged, will be scoring only 6 points. So that's something what you can do as Black. And of course, as Black, you're just waiting patiently until you draw a monastery tile. Either a regular monastery goes here, or a monastery with a road, then it goes here. 18 points up for grabs. Oh, do you want some good news, Alan?
always.
So, thanks for our viewers who are monitoring the other games. And Rubian on Sable 2 has delivered his first upset against the much higher rated Claudio Jorquera. So, Team USA is now leading.
Right, I believe that was the last Dorito, wasn't it? So that helps. Yeah, but he's about to connect those 2 fields. Yeah, plenty of straight roads left and curves. So he's going to have to drop another one in there. But of course, I'm guessing he's probably going to close off his city on the left and maybe even drop one over there.
I like this idea for blue. I mean, you could make a case for simply. I probably like just meepling the city cap, because
Sure.
and he does that because there's still a 6 point field over here, a 3 point field over here. There's going to be another field over here when blue finishes his city, so he can still wait. Now Allan does draw the final Dorito. Now promise, no more Doritos in this game, and well, what does he do? He could just meeple the 6 point field over here. He has plenty of meeples. Or he could meeple this 6 point field over here. Although there are some scenarios how his meeple gets eaten up. Like, for example, if, as you said, there are many straight roads remaining, so black can go over, blue can go over here, then over here, then have a 12 point field with 2 versus 1 majority. So, admitted, we'll need to drop another meeple, perhaps over here, but not with this tile, because you want to try to finish the city, actually. So why don't we go over here and drop a farmer at the same time? So that's an option that black could be considering, but in the meantime, it's not clear if this farm will even be enough for black, because the Chilean player was first on the coin flip and has already guaranteed himself 8 points and possibly even 18 if he gets the evil hamster for this square as well. So whoever wins the coin flip for the monastery has the best chance of winning this game, I believe.
Yeah, and there's 4 left. 13 tiles. That sounds pretty incredible.
Blue scores 2 points, at the same time restricting Black City to some extent. Black will probably likely connect to the farm over here. Looking to later connect to this farm over here. Enjoying some advantage on the field, but in order to win this game, I think black needs to come up with something really radical. He needs to get his meeple back. He needs to win this coin flip for sure. And then it is not even obvious whether you put this monastery here or not.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he could leave that. There is a 6 point, potentially 9 point field, but you don't want to give your opponent his meeple back, but he could potentially pick up 9 that way.
I'm actually thinking of another option, because you see the problem for black is he has 1 meeple, but what if we go over here just simply adding 1 point to the monastery, and then if we draw the monastery with the road, we don't put it over here, we put it over here, get a meeple back and meeple at a 9 point field somehow. So that's an option, and he does exactly that move, but it doesn't matter. Because a second monastery comes down for the Chilean player, 18 points on the scoreboard, meeple back in hand, and the score now starts looking quite unpleasant for the American player.
Yeah, are there any tiles to close his city? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 14. That brings him pretty close. If he can win that field with his monastery and that road. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 5.
Actually, yeah. It's not impossible. So, I mean, obviously Edgar will prevent this with this tile. He has to go over here.
Yeah.
Yep, and this is exactly what he was counting. And there are still city caps. Had blue not played this move, there actually would have been tiles that are left to fit here. And it's quite unfortunate. I mean, it's not like Allan's getting any bad tiles or anything. Like, it's just the sequencing is not great because he's got these 2 monasteries, but he can't really utilize them because he needs to get this meeple back first and only then meeple the monastery. But I mean, what do you do over here? Do you just meeple the 6-point field? Do you meeple the monastery anyway and then hope to get a crossroads and a meeple back on your next move? Possibly these are your options. Your options aren't great, but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah, how many curved roads do we got left? I think, oh no, I think we're out. So that one meeple may be lone.
So Allan decides to simply get some points and hope to get his meeple back on the next turn. And this gamble has paid off. He's now going to get one more road point, get his meeple back. And of course, green just meeple blue just meeple the 6-point field, so it's great for him. Blue is now going to take 6 points probably with his field on the right. 7 points, 4 for the city, 3 for the fields. It's just huge. But in the meantime, as we witness the final tiles of this game, probably black is going to take 3 road points or something like this. I don't really see many stronger moves for him, and this is exactly what he does. Of course, this creates a 6-point field, which will likely be taken by somebody, possibly by Edgar here. Okay, he opts for a different 6-point field. And actually, that was a slight mistake, because now Allan is able to take 7 points instead of 6. He'll be able to go over here, add 1 monastery point, and meeple this farmer, which is something that the Chilean player could have been prevented. But you don't need to be super precise when you're like 30 points ahead on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
On the bright side, for do you want some more good news, Allan?
Yeah, keep it coming.
We have another upset. So
wow.
The lowest rated player of the United States, of Team United States on today's lineup, Justin, I'm gonna say Ethier. I'm gonna try to Americanize everything today. I'm gonna also try to put on a thicker accent. I'm gonna try and do my best. It is winning 1 versus 0 against Diego, against the highest rated Chilean player on table 3, which makes me think, shall we watch one of those tables perhaps, since the battle there is closer than we expected?
Yeah, I think so. How far? So Rubian's game is probably a little bit further in. Yeah, let me take a look and see where they're at.
So then shall we go to Justin's game instead, so that we can witness it from almost the start?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to take a look.
Actually, only 17 points for Edgar, by the way. Only, of course. It's almost an insurmountable lead, but it's really those 2 monasteries that gave him the 18 points and the win of the game. Elias is saying Southern U.S. Alexey. That wasn't like that. I think I can put on a more or less Southern accent, but I think with Allan over here, I don't want to quite embarrass myself. One thing that I like to do is without putting on accents, I do like to use the word y'all in everyday speech. I think it's great, because English lacks a proper distinction for second person plural. So yeah, y'all need to meeple the like button. That's what I can say.
Yeah, we get quite a bit of y'alls out here in the Midwest too. A lot of all y'all too. I think that's a little bit more prevalent here, at least in Illinois.
Do you have any interesting Carcassonne related lingo in Illinois, or anywhere in the U.S.?
You know what? I don't, and it was really interesting because I really didn't start playing that much until the pandemic started. And I learned pretty much everything I know between a lot of your streams and just playing with a lot of the American players. And I got a really good laugh the first time I heard the tiles called Doritos. Definitely something I partake in. I do love my Doritos, and so I do like that. But honestly, I when I first started learning, um, I just kind of remember the tiles for what they are. I didn't really have any kind of a naming convention. And so even today, I was still learning. I think in one of your streams, maybe a month or two ago, was the first time I heard the term dagger. And it's a great word, great descriptor for the tile.
Yeah, and interesting. So the term dagger was coined by the Spanish streamer with the screen name Juliano Apostata, and I've noticed that it's something interesting cognitively happens as soon as you have for name something. You actually are better at perceiving it. So as soon as I started calling daggers, I started noticing them quicker on the board. I started them, yeah, and I just stopped miscounting them essentially. Well, almost stopped miscounting them.
Yeah, it's
So
interesting. Those are the tiles that I usually have the most trouble counting, and especially on a board like this when you're getting close to the end. Those are the ones that I have the most trouble. So I definitely pay attention to those as the game progresses.
well, you would be doing fine this game because none of the 6 daggers have been drawn. However, the things that have been drawn are these triple cities, which resulted in a blocked meeple for red, and that's the American player. So a meeple down, so a slight advantage for black. On the other hand, what are we having? Complete equality on the scoreboard. Red has the 6-point monastery, which is fantastic for them because it has another monastery spot nearby. It is controlling black's 4-point city with some potential to either attack it with a city cap and a triangle or to block it with a bunch of curves like this. Then we have a mini battle, this 1-point road by black versus this 2-point city by Reds. Red is quite likely to get his meeple back over here, but of course almost anything can happen. Red just started a 1-point city at the bottom. Black has a good 4-point road going over here. There's some scenarios how this road loops over here and over here like this, because there's still 3 straight lines that could fit into this square, and ultimately this road can lead to a road monastery. Look, there's a 7-point spot for a road monastery on this side of the board. And just like in the previous game that we witnessed, it seems that whoever draws more monasteries could simply win this game. Do you want some more good news, Alan?
Yeah, I saw some bad news. I had Bay Area Roots gave me the background. But yeah, share some more good news, please.
Oh wait, did Rube already manage to lose an entire game whilst we were talking?
Yeah, they tore through that second game. I turned it on about halfway through when we were looking and flipped back and forth, and yeah, they finished that one up already.
So then it's 1-1 on table number 2, is that correct?
You know what? I didn't look at admitteds yet. Let me take a look.
Yeah. So, well, the good news were on tables 4 and on table 5. Zach Bell has defeated Horim Meya, the Mindsports Olympian champion, and Crocodile Fundy has defeated Adan Las Eras. I wasn't quite sure as to the origin of his stream name. Maybe some Chilean viewers in the chat can explain. The only thing that I found in the dictionary is that the word Eras means ivies in Portuguese. So
Okay.
that's what I assumed, and that's what I went with. Doesn't matter whether it's
It's
true
the
or
icon.
not. And of course, for Zach Bell, we have a bell pepper.
Nice.
Well, now this game is speeding up a little, but Justin was able to finish his city for 10 points without giving a meeple back for Black, but Black saying, that's okay, I'm gonna take this meeple back myself. 5 points go onto the scoreboard.
Great tile.
But now a fantastic
really
tile exactly for Red. Not only are these 2 points for the road and 3 points for the city, it's actually opens further potential for this ruin to grow just a couple more points. Imagine maybe like a tube-shaped extender or a triple city with a field, and then a quadruple city, and then suddenly this ruin is worth 8-9 points, and it completely justifies the blocked meeple. Moreover, the American player is up 7 points on the scoreboard, but look at this move from GDLK. He goes for something similar to the Ukrainian technique, essentially, where he builds around his city next to the 2 monasteries, preparing for multiple positive outcomes. Either he could put a straight line here to block one of his meeple against 2, or he could finish the city, which is exactly what he did. 16-point go to Black scoreboard, but still Red has the advantage because look at these 2 monasteries. And now Red can choose. Does he go over here, take 2 points, meeple a city cap, take a meeple back, finish his monastery, and he goes for this. The other option was to finish his city at the bottom, but he goes for the greedy option, and he adheres to the principle of 2 cities. But look at this move here from the Chilean player. It has to be very unpleasant for the American, because not only does Black start a new city and adhere to the principle of 2 cities, right? With some extenders over here and maybe triangles over here, he'll be able to build his stuff efficiently. Moreover, he was able to thwart the development of Red's ruin with tempo, so Red will not be able to add any further points. And this meeple, just as it started looking like it's having some prospect for the future, will be forever trapped with only 5 points, and this now has been confirmed.
Yeah, that was a great title for Black. Yeah, I think all 3 extenders are still out there. So yeah, those two end caps are looking pretty nice for Black right now.
Elias in the chat, in the meantime, of course, I mean, the game is important, but more is important is the origin of the Chilean player's screen name on table number 5, suggesting that Hera is a mythological character. I know that, like, she's mother of Hercules and stuff, but then how would you expect, like, mothers of Hercules is plural? That doesn't make that much sense in plural, you know? So keep guessing. I need more theories. But anyway, back to the game. GDLK now finishes an 8-point city on the left. So adhering to the principle of 2 cities has paid off, because look at this. He had this extender set up before. Now Justin is able to equalize Diego's road, at the same time protecting his own city, but probably now GDLK is going to break one of his cities, either over here or over here. Chooses the bottom city. Justin, of course, will be able to finish one of his cities, and they are now exactly even on the scoreboard. We picked absolutely the right game to watch. It can go either way. Well, not after this tile. This tile actually really favors the Chilean player favorably, because look at this. What a filthy 6-point monastery move. And they will get finished up so quickly, and now Red will need to think of some sort of plan how to climb out of this hole. Will he meeple a 6-point field? I kind of thought that maybe it's time already, but he decides, no, I'm going to save the meeples for something else.
You know, with 4 left, I probably would have dropped one in there myself.
I'm pretty sure I've noticed that you like them early fields.
Yeah, you know, looking at that one though, there's not. I guess it may be kind of difficult to expand and get some more cities.
But actually, now that I think about it, I sort of agree with your initial thought, because maybe you don't even need to expand this field, right? Maybe you're just okay with having 1 meeple invested for 6 points, because there are not many point scoring opportunities, right? You already have a ruin, so you're going to just keep developing it. Then there are only 2 monasteries left. And presuming if you draw both of them, you place them over here, you place them over here, and you still have 2 meeples left over. So what do you use meeples for? Well, I guess fields like this. So I'm not going to be surprised if GGLK just goes over here and drops a farmer like this, just to prevent Justin from finishing his road with a curve and dropping a farmer with tempo, which is absolutely his intention. I can guarantee it.
Mhm. Yeah, I might take that road kind of in the bottom right there, since in order to complete his 2 monasteries, he'd have to add to that road.
In the meantime, I was wrong. Black does place the tile over here, but without a farmer, which kind of surprises me, because like as Black, I mean, what do you need the meeples for? You have these juicy monasteries, you have 4 meeples, you're gonna get a 5th meeple back.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
Kind of a difficult tile to play for Justin. I mean, you could consider dropping a farmer, of course, always. You could maybe go over here and meeple this weird road. It's a weird move, but actually I kind of like it, maybe. You know, like a road
Right.
version of a Ukrainian
Yeah.
technique. Just to
Yeah,
make
that's
Black work for these meeples back.
yeah, exactly. I like that.
Alan, I see your eyes are moving across the board. I assume this is tile counting.
You know what? I'm taking a look at at Mitted's game and on the other page.
Do we have interesting developments there?
They are. That's pretty close. The Chilean player has 3 monasteries that are pretty close, pretty valuable. Um, so Allen's up about 10. He's got a nice field, but the Chilean player again has about 20 points in field. So it's pretty close. And I think this is only their 2nd game. So even if he wins, we're going to be looking at a 3rd game.
Well, interesting. In the meantime, I will quit trying to predict what the players are gonna play because they are not doing it. So both sides seems to be ignoring the 6-point field, which it's a good field. Take the field. What's wrong with the field? So the Chilean player, or the Chilean, what's the correct adjective in English?
Chilean, right?
Chilean. Okay, so I was hyper correcting myself then. Okay, the player from Chile is starting a city, and then of course Justin is starting another city at the same time, attacking the city, hoping to trap this meeple. Yet again, another move on the field without a field meeple. Black was also able to free up one of his monastery meeples. Maybe not the other one. If Justin now places this curve over here and commits this square to a crossroads, there are only 3 crossroads remaining, so it will take quite a while for Black to get a crossroads in his meeple back, if he's gonna do that ever.
Right.
Glovier is saying there are quite a lot of caps remaining, so I would like to meeple a more open field. But which one? I mean, there are only 2 fields, right? There's this one on the left, which is super closed, And then there's this one on the right, which has loads of green squares and is not meepled again. I would be very curious to be a fly on the wall inside one of these players' minds. Anyway, I don't have to think because I'm not playing, so I guess we can just announce the action. Red draws a starting tile. Probably's gonna finish his city. Oh ho ho ho! He starts another city at the same time, blocking this guy, and this move is about to pay off because Black was just about preparing to close off his city. He also starts a new city. Both players are taking advantage of their knowledge of the deck. They know that there are many city caps remaining. We're probably going to see a city move over here. Of course, you'll need to think which one of them. In order to that, you need to take advantage of the dagger asymmetry. It's a term that, if you're not familiar with this, we're going to talk about later in my videos, but there's no dagger asymmetry because 6 daggers are out. So it actually doesn't really matter which one you continue, but maybe Red will decide in favor of one of the moves over the other. I mean, he will, but what will be the reason? I don't know. Still Red is taking this time.
Position. Yeah, I don't think it makes much of a difference at this point.
But that's interesting. I mean, it doesn't make much of a difference, but eventually you have to play something. And situations like these are certainly... They certainly can create analysis paralysis. Well, Justin is probably going to finish one of his cities. Probably the more lucrative one. And 8 points, just like that, are joining Red's scoreboard. But another city coming here for Black. So both players are creating these little towns.
Yeah, I think I might have to drop one in the field somewhere now.
Except that it's not really possible with this tile.
Yeah.
Unless you go at the very, very top and drop like an anticipation farmer like this. It does seem like in order to play this endgame, you have to have a perfect or near perfect knowledge of the tiles. If I were Justin here, here's what I would do. I would think of one candidate move. Let's say I'm just like adding 1 point to the city. And then I'd say to myself, okay, if within 1.5 minutes I don't find anything better, I'm playing that move. And then I'm devoting like 1 full minute to tile counting. And then trying to figure out what my win path is. So 3 meeples in the endgame for both sides. This is so rare. No farmers. Will we actually see a game with 0 farmers? He goes for a simple city move, trying to add more points to himself. So now GDLK has a bunch of options.
Yeah, I would take, you got to add to your city. You're not going to close it.
I mean, he could score a 4-point road at the bottom. That's also something. Oh, wait, the field. Hey, that's pretty cool what you're suggesting, right? You get 2 points for the city and 6 points for the field. Wow. And but he... so his main goal was to prevent this meeple
but that's only 4 points, right?
Yeah, but why no farmer? Why do you hate agriculture so much? And look at this. Red responds in kind. Black is the first one to get a 6-point -3. Red will not be able to finish a city. Well, now Red. Surely it's going to be a farmer, right? You go over here, you meeple the farm, and there's actually still a city cap with a road. So you go over here, you drop a farmer, you hope for the city cap with the crossroads, which will enable you to get like extra points over here.
Yeah, exactly.
He does this.
Yeah, first farmer with 4 tiles left. I'm pretty sure that's a first for me viewing.
Do you want some more good news, Alan?
Yeah, let's bring it. So we're 2 and
Guess
0
who
so
just
far,
won?
right?
Guess who just won?
Tell me, tell me. Tell me
That's
I'm in
Rubian.
suspense.
That's
Nice,
Rubian. No
beautiful,
suspense. It's 2 versus
beautiful.
1 for the much low-rated American player against the Chilean almost master, and the United States is the first on the match scoreboard. In the meantime, back to our tense endgame. Finally, both players have managed to get over their aversion of fields, and black also meeples a 6-point field over here. They're now completely equal in field points, but black has 2 extra monasteries, so you have to favor black in this position. I didn't count the points. I'm not going to count the points. I want to have a little bit more suspense. As red, you probably have to meeple a monastery. Like, what else you gotta do? Look, there's a juicy 4 points monastery spot over here. And if you're gonna freeload some monastery points of your opponent as well, we go over here. This is exactly the move. Of course, you have to have perfect knowledge of the tiles, but whatever the tiles are, it's hard for me to imagine a better move like this. But maybe Justin will find it. Let's see.
Are both the side splitters gone? I see one.
Oh wait, there's another one. Oh no, they're 2 back to back. They're like very, nearby.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay, good. Thank you.
So Justin went for the 5-point monastery spot, which of course makes sense. But then GDLK is now thinking whether to meeple this 4-point road or this 2-point road. Of course, you go for the 4-point road. Whether to take this 5-point road, whether to make some sort of crazy farmer move, whether to go over here, meeple this 4-point road, or to go over here and meeple this 3-point field. And in the meantime, Aaron in the chat is asking, do the best players not have a constant running count of remaining tiles? To an extent. That depends on how good the players are. Probably like the really best ones, the world champions, the players, anybody who's like rated over 750 or so, 700, yeah, they probably would. I think anybody else who's playing in the championship would have a partial tile count for sure. And even if you have a running tile count, which of course you should endeavor to have, it's still good to double check because miscounts can happen early in the game, and you do not always want to be relying on your earlier judgments. You want to use your time if you have the extra time. Thanks, Joao, for the information. So, Alan, do you want some more good news?
I just saw some bad news. I saw Admitted just lost the second game, and the last tile looks like 2. It was a
Okay,
coin flip.
you saw that. Sorry, I was about to make a maybe not so nice introduction. I was going to say, do you want some more good news? Well, you're not going to get it this time. Because Edgar managed to defeat Admitted, and Chile is on the scoreboard as well. But still, even though you said that Table 1 would be decisive for the whole duel, Table 2 has taken a twist, which is why, I mean, everything is up for grabs in this match. We probably ended up with something super close. I don't know who's going to win. All I know is that it took almost 2 minutes for GDLK to take a natural 4-point move. But that's okay because I assume he was just calculating all the endgames. Okay, fantastic tile for the American here. 6
Exactly what
points.
he was planning.
Exactly like he was planning. Yep. The full setup. Will he do it?
I have faith. There it is. Yes.
Now finally Diego here with the very last tile. Both players are completely equal on the scoreboard. I'm not sure about the points on the board, but I think black should be ever so slightly ahead, but I'm not sure after last move by red. It does seem that the best black can do is some sort of 3-point field or 3-point city. He goes for a 3-point city. And Justin draws a 4-point move. Just as Joao was suggesting in the chat, he can go over here, add 1 monastery point, and meeple a 3-point field. So this move over here by red was not only a 5-point monastery, but a setup for a future field play. Let's see if this carefully prepared 1 point makes the difference for the American. Now that I think of it, I mean, it's a random thought. I'm going to let red finish the game. But I know that you have players from different parts of the US. I mean, you're yourself from Illinois. Bay Area Roop, for example, is surprise, surprise from the Bay Area. How do you deal with time zone differences and with physical, I mean, with physical distance, I guess it's obvious it's an online championship. But do time zone differences ever get in the way of your team training or match scheduling or stuff like this?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, we made sure to fill out, a full 10-player roster, and I feel like we've done a good job rotating people in just to make sure, everybody gets a chance to play. So I don't think that it's been too bad. And I feel like I believe we have 3 or 4 players out in California, and then of course Carrie's out east. I feel like we have pretty good coverage, but I can't think of a time that it ever really created an issue for us. So yeah, I feel pretty lucky, especially for me. I'm right in the middle, so I tend to be I tend not to have too much of an extreme schedule.
Well, you may feel lucky about your location, but you should not feel lucky about the outcome of this match, because did you see what just happened between these two players? It is a tie, but a tie favors the player who did not start the game, and in this case, it is GDLK, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So the second game has been won by a tie by the Chilean. You know what? Let me just double check real quick. Was he actually the first? I need to just... Elias is saying no players in Alaska or Hawaii, but is it true?
Not on the team, at least.
And of course, you all forgot Guam, and there's some other places.
We have our territories too.
Right. I hope we should be back now.
Okay. All right, I think we're good.
I mean, the streaming software crashed inexplicably. Joao was saying hello again, and we're back. Thanks for confirming, and thanks for waiting. So at least good that the stream crashed after the game and not before it, and not during the game. Well, who are we going to watch? Are we going to watch the decider between Justin and GDLK? Are we going to see how Zach Bell is doing?
I definitely like the Justin GDLK matchup. It's pretty even right now. I think Justin's got a slight advantage. Actually, I think he's got a good advantage right now with his next tile. Crocodile Fundy is just about to end their game. There's 2 tiles left. And I'm not going to even attempt to figure out what's happening. There's too much going on.
But I just checked. Vinere just finished, so it's actually 1-1. So it's. I mean, Zach Bell is playing a decider again. GDLK is playing a decider again. Which of the 2 deciders are you personally more interested in, Allan?
You know what? I'm really interested in this game with Justin.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, such a big difference. At least ELO, but it's been a great matchup so far.
Yeah, and the Chilean master was able to preserve his chances in this duel only with a tile, so a very, very near miss. Well, and it looks like, whoa, he's gonna have a really tough time in this game. I mean, what is this? Huge ruin. Could also be completed. 2 back-to-back monasteries. I mean,
Yeah.
was...
And a growing extended, yeah.
Was Black even playing the first 20 tiles? But look at this.
He's got a
The
nice tile
bailout
here, yeah.
goes over here, and all of this good work by Red goes to waste. The city is likely to be shared, but still Red has the advantage. Look at these monasteries. Look at the city that's about to get completed. Probably Red's gonna go over here now, start harassing this road somehow.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and make the announcement. Crocodile Fundy picked up the 2nd win.
This is huge for the United States. So 2-1 versus... So this means that in order to win this match, the United States, either Justin has to win or Zach has to win. So the 2 Chilean leaders and rating favorites have to work extra hard now. Well, the game has sped up for sure. We missed this really lovely, subtle move by the American. Look at this. I want to talk about this a little bit because triple purpose move. 1, in direct defense of this city. 2, in direct defense of these monasteries. 3, somewhat, actually quite significantly limiting this black's field. Some great spatial vision from the player with the red meeples. This, of course, does not change the fact that Red is behind on the scoreboard, but it is about to change. With this tile over here, Red could probably place it onto his city, preventing Black from sticking in some sort of row tile into it, and he's taking advantage of his previous move because now GDLK is not able to go over here and start fighting for the city, because this square has been wisely restricted by Red. So it's a great sequence over here. So I guess the best Black can do is just start a new city somewhere, at the same time restricting the monasteries. And look at this move made all the difference, because now this city is being completed and 14 points come onto Red's scoreboard. Red is 7 points ahead on the scoreboard. Still, these monasteries are outscoring the little 9-point field of
tile.
Black. This, of course, is a fantastic tile for Black, because Black is now equalizing at least one of the monasteries, but it will be trapped here forever just in time drew a crossroads to score 2 points and restrict this meeple forever. And now he draws another monastery, which of course will go over here, or maybe over here, or maybe even over here, but obviously with a meeple And
Yeah,
black
it's
is
really got
still
to.
yet to complete this connection. You were saying?
Yeah, looks like Justin's got to do something to try and block or protect those two cathedrals from closing out. But in the meantime, he's closing cities and stacking points.
And now this
Oh,
makes
that
me think
hurts.
maybe he doesn't even care about getting those meeples back. It's all about them points, points, points. When these squares are built up, these three guys will be giving 24 points to Red's scoreboard. Already in the meantime, simply just starts a new city. Black takes a bit of a gamble. I mean, he does what he has. He did what he had to do. But this city is now up for grabs for either side. Somebody grabs a city cap, connects like this. Not possible just yet. Now Justin's got to really choose. How far ahead is he? He said, not enough. I'm gonna take my chances with the big city. I'm gonna finish the city first. Still, this is still up for grabs. So as Justin, do you just finish your small city, or do you finish the shared city saying, you know what, I'm up 21 points on the scoreboard. I do not want any shenanigans to happen. I'm just gonna bail out and do this. There's certainly a case to be made for a protective move like this. What does your intuition say? What would you do here, Alan, as red?
Yeah, yeah. As many points as we have, he's only got one. Let's see what he did. I definitely would have thought about it a little bit longer. I think you're right, though. How many end caps? 1, 2, 3, and a bunch of Doritos. Yeah, I think you're right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think you're right. It would have made sense to close that off, take your meeple back, and try to attack that field. Maybe not that way, but I think you
I'm
have a
not sure.
good entry point where these two cathedrals are. Um, yeah, yeah, I probably would have closed that. That's a lot of points up there.
Okay, but now, as Justin,
Of course.
you get the tile that, of course, we thought that black could get a comeback into this game. But you go over here, right? I mean, for the content. You gotta do it for the content.
Yeah, there's plenty of tiles. You got some choices to close out your end cap or join that city. I might go for it.
And exactly, there's still two Doritos left. And I mean,
Yeah.
if you join it, then that's it. Game over here. Match point USA. On the other
Yeah, with
hand,
this 1, 2, 3, 17. So he's probably up about 20 points right now. Yeah, you're right. Closing that out, that's about it. I don't think you can recover with 18 tiles. But of course, you can close off your one at the bottom. The right tile gives you 9 points for a field over there. But of course, you run the risk of black doing the same thing to you, which is exactly why I would probably make the decision to go for it.
well, he does simply get his meeple back. And I think one of his ideas was this was actually the last vanilla cap, so it's no longer possible to snatch off the city. Actually, it is. There's still one divider. So now, Justin, surely you do this. Surely you bail out with 21 points ahead on the scoreboard and an extra meeple. Like, you can't leave such a path back into the game to your opponent. I don't think Red should be greedy here. Red should actually just go ahead and do this. But he could be thinking, oh, 2 points. I can score 2 points. But I mean,
Yeah.
these 2 points don't do anything for your win probability at this point. It's all about playing defense. Wait, Elias. So that's not true. If USA wins 3 versus 2, they do not catch up with France. But if France loses, especially by a lot, Then the USA catches up with France. Well, anyway, we will discuss the tournament situation a little bit later because now Justin has listened to both commentators' advice. He just simply took a 0-point move that gave him a couple meeple back. Black dropped a farmer, red dropped a farmer, and it looks like the American player is approaching the victory in this duel, but we've seen GDLK make some comebacks. I mean, we haven't seen that, but like I have seen that when I was studying his games from previous matches. Elias is saying France has 18 duels won. It doesn't matter how many duels they have won. It's about the duel difference. France is at +6, and the US is, I don't remember how many. Oh, yeah, right. Well, anyway, we'll check that. We'll check that. The tournament situation will matter a little bit later. We still have time for everything. Now GDLK here getting a curve. A true master needs to know how to play with seemingly useless tiles. What does he do? Does he go over here, expand his field and hope that his opponent doesn't connect? Or does he go over here, trying to drop a farmer and bring in a second meeple in like this? Or does he simply count out all the city caps and go over here to prevent Justin from scoring 6 further points and getting a meeple back? We will find out in 1 minute 50 seconds or less. Oh, Alan, have you ever lost on time?
I have not. I can confidently say I've never lost on time, just because I know I just play so fast, and it's kind of a detriment to my game. I really, really need to learn to slow down sometimes. But no, I don't think I've ever come close to losing on time before.
Have you won on time?
Yeah, I was pondering that in the back of my mind. Not in the WTCOC. I think there's been a couple games where somebody has gone over. But I always try to play the karma card and give them time to think. I don't think I've ever X'd anybody out. I'm trying to remember who it was. It was one Russian player who went over 2 or 3 minutes, and he was still online. It was one of the higher rated players. And I waited it out because I really wanted that win. And I didn't want to win on time, so I made sure to let it go. I'm forgetting who that was, but it was a while ago.
In the meantime, Justin is thinking where to place this Dorito, and I've been drawing on the screen potential options. He could either complete this merger over here, or join this city over here, or simply add 2 monastery points over here, or 1 monastery point over here. But the one thing that he should not do is keep thinking and thinking and thinking and losing on time. Well, actually, you've done one thing that's close to losing on time. You lost through a no-show. That's
Yes.
that's next level.
It's the most embarrassing way, right? Yeah, it was so bad. Some time ago, I turned off notifications on Discord, which was my biggest mistake. And I came in, I saw the notification. I'm like, great, tomorrow at whatever time it was. So I put it on my calendar for tomorrow, not realizing that the message was posted the day before. And so, yes, I embarrassingly missed that first one. The good thing is my teammates came through with the win. But I'm going to feel really bad if that one, if it comes down to the games won. So hopefully they continue to win as they are and things go our way.
If your no-show loss turns out to be decisive for the tournament standings, I will have to make it my move of the week for my next video.
That's fair.
You know what they say, 80% of success is showing up.
Yes, 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 it is.
And some parts of success is scoring points, which Reds absolutely does here with this little crossroad tile. It's almost 20 points up on the scoreboard. GDLK is doing his absolute best trying to calculate all tiles remaining, trying to figure out how to squeeze off that win. So he still waiting with the field, and his intention is to maybe block this meeple, maybe block this field connection, maybe reconnect if he has to. He'll probably going to now finish his city, but we don't know. Maybe he has a better idea. No, he goes for the block, and he puts another meeple on a city. I assume that there's a large number of city caps remaining, otherwise he wouldn't do it. So that certainly makes sense. I see there's a divider for sure. One that goes over here eventually. That could work very well for black. And I assume there must be some dagger tiles. Well, I can see one dagger tile that fits into either of these squares.
Yeah, I wonder if you make an attack. I haven't been keeping track, but maybe you make an attack on that 9-point field. Give yourself a point for the cathedral, and maybe get a second point to get into the field. Plus 11.
But the question is, do you need this plus 11? Do you need to take that risk? And he says no.
Nope. Going for the points. There's plus 6 for him.
He managed to successfully complete the field's connection. And now to add insult to injury, 4-point city. Black is not able to draw the city caps. Of course, GDLK over here is probably going to finish one of these two cities. I mean, he's going to go over here. He will have his last meeple to place.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, good. Yeah, I was thinking if he had one and there's a curve out there, 2, 3, 4, that could be a big swing.
Oh, you're thinking of some sort of fields connection. Yeah, that would be pretty cool, I guess. But ain't gonna work out because that was the last meeple. So black took a respectable gamble, but it just did not pay off. If only this tile had been drawn earlier. But it looks like we're witnessing the victory for the United States here, and stuff is crashing? No! Oh, stuff is not crashing, man. I already get... What was that? What was that? We're still on stream. We're still on stream. All is well.
A great duel. Just goes to show yellow is just a number. Just a number.
Yellow's just a number, exactly.
You know, I'm curious. Have you gone back? Actually, who did create the prediction?
That was Daniel Cheng, LSC.
Okay. Have you gone back to assess how accurate it's been?
Not yet, because there's not going to be a sufficient sample size. I've only used this in a handful of streams. But what else? Oh man. Huh. Everything's frozen. Oh man. This is so interesting. Can you actually see and hear me still? This should not be the case. That's so weird because like my entire screen has gone black. Anyway, I'm gonna try to get back to this in a second. We know that the United States won. We're still gonna try to catch a glimpse of the. Oh man, we're still gonna like try to catch a glimpse of the remaining game, but isn't that weird? So I guess I don't know. We can talk about the weather or something. Why does this keep happening? Again, this is like completely new. Everything just closed off. You know what? I'm gonna try to just unplug everything and restart everything.
Okay. I see us on the call, but I'm not getting any audio.
Oh yeah, of course. No, it's just
Oh,
me.
there
It's
it
just
is.
I just needed to like
No,
turn stuff on. Yeah, sorry about this, guys. Thank you for those of you who were sticking around. Yeah, you probably should be able to hear me now. Everything seems to be all right, man. Every time a different thing, I promise you. But we will still witness the ending of Vineria versus Zach Bell. It was over 20 minutes ago that this game started. And they're even on the scoreboard. And actually, this is hugely important for the United States because basically, if Zach wins now, then y'all have still a chance of qualifying. You just need to root against France. But I think if the United States loses this duel, despite winning this match, the United States does not qualify because France will not be able to mathematically lose badly enough in order to negate the goal difference. I was going to say. I'm saying that because there's currently the World Ice Hockey Championship going on, and that's what's on my mind. But I meant the dual difference, of course. Do you watch ice hockey, Alan?
Oh, I love ice hockey. I live right down the street from the United Center in Chicago, where the Blackhawks play, and we had our years, and we did really, really well, and I loved every second of it. Now, I, of course, am way too small to play ice hockey, but I really do love the game. In fact, I went to engineering school, and we actually had a really incredible ice hockey team. And my roommate played hockey, and I really do love it. I haven't followed it so much the last year and a half or so, but hopefully, oh, I need to go check my door, but I'm going to keep talking. I'm hopeful to get involved in a club league sometime. It is, of course, very expensive, but it is a lot of fun. I did a lot of roller hockey for a number of years.
So this is something that will be very familiar to one part of my viewers, and probably my Chilean viewers have no idea what you were just talking about. But I get you. Yeah, it's a huge thing in Latvia as well.
Yeah, so you said what's the tournament that's going on right now?
Oh, just the IIHF World Championship.
Okay.
I don't know if you kind of follow the international scene that much.
Mhm. I mean, of course, like most players out here are not American made. So, yeah, I'm familiar. I don't know that I could maintain too much of a conversation with it, but I definitely know the names that are out there. And you know what? I do. It's been awesome doing the stream with you. But my time has come to a close. I do need to head out for the night. Congratulations, team. And a lot of great games tonight. So, again, thank you very much for the invite. This was a lot of fun. And hopefully we can advance. And even though I would love to play in the games, if I don't, it'd be really great to join in again sometime.
Certainly, it was great to have you indeed. Yeah, thanks for joining and sharing your experience. And it's good you're still leaving at a moment where the US still has a chance. So of course I'll let you know what happened, but you can leave in good spirits, sort of, kind of. Right? Yeah. All thank Allan and have a good one.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah. Bye. But we will, of course, stick around for a while. I'm just going to remove every trace of Allan from the screen. And now we're here. Of course, I'd love to talk to you about ice hockey, but instead I'm going to talk about Carcassonne. So it's going to be quite a tight end game. It does seem like Yellow is doing absolutely great over here. Yellow has a monastery on the left, a monastery on the right, 5 more points in the scoreboard, and some jolly nice farmers. Well, the main field for 15 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, for 12 points is kind of over here, shared, but Yellow's about to join over here, making it into a big farm for 15 points. I mean, Zach still has a monastery here and there, not here and there, just here for 7 points. And he has a 3-point city over here, a 6-point farm over here, which is better than Yellow's 2-point road, but it does not seem like it's going to be enough. So no. He needs to come up with something more radical than this. I mean, maybe he needs to start battling for this big ruin. Although, unfortunately for Blue, that was not physically possible. So, what else can he do? I don't know. He goes for a block, which makes sense. So as Vineria, what a move. Vineria drops his last meeple and kind of blocks the entry of the previous farm. But he's now threatening to enter with a new farmer into this field. And this could work. Even though Zach just drew one of the tiles that would fit into these squares, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 curves. No, wait a second. What are y'all doing? There are 9 curves. So this means that this block was pointless. Maybe it wasn't a block. Maybe Blue was setting up a connection for himself. Wait. I have to delve these moves. How are we doing for 1, 2, 3? Ah, they're still Doritos. That's the issue right there. Vineria drew something that is not a Dorito and is saying, I can't believe it. You can't believe what? Games with Vineria are always super interesting when it comes to the chat. And he says, this tile was the only one that was a problem. Okay, you got an evil hamster and you gotta say something about the tiles are wrong. Come on. Okay, so they're both miscounted. He's talking about some sort of 50-50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, okay, yellow just blocked himself, telling that he's going into a 50-50. No, 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 no. There's 0 tiles that fit into that square. Oh, that's... Why? So Zach now is going to score probably 3 points or whatever he can score. 4 points for a road. And now Varnier is writing something. I think I really miscounted. You think? Well, you do have 2 minutes on the clock still, so... Probably still will be enough for yellow to win, maybe? I'm not quite sure. Probably will be, but we'll still need to see. The best that blue can do is just score 4 points for a road. But also yellow should not have given away that critical information here. Because now, blue, who was also miscounting, blue also thought that there was a curve. Blue now knows that the tile in yellow's hand is not a curve, so he's now doing a recount. That's interesting. I'm not going to do a recount because I'm not sure which kind of tile is remaining. It does seem... No, it's not a vanilla cap. It's not a Dorito. Maybe somebody can help me in the chat. That would be nice. But I don't think Zach can do any better than just scoring 4 points for a road. This 15-point main field will remain shared. And blue has only 30 seconds remaining. 25, 24, 23. He does score the 4-point road, so it was a Dorito with a road. Which means that blue lost the final coin flip. Had blue gotten the Dorito with the road, he could have placed it like somewhere over here to score a 6-point city. Instead, he got a 4-point road, which is almost as good, but not quite. But what is the score going to be? I'm not going to refresh. It does seem that yellow should have it, but don't take my word for it. Let's just watch the points and the animations. Oh, it's so close. Only a 4-point difference. And had Zach actually realized that his opponent has miscounted, he could have taken advantage of that. Instead of spending moves and moves and moves and trying to block this connection, he could have simply placed this tile over here and built a city and then maybe gotten his meeple back. And, well, there's a variety of things that he could have done, perhaps. Not sure if this would have been enough to surmount the 4-point difference, but it doesn't matter. We have to congratulate the Chilean player and the Mind Sports Olympia champion with this win, which of course doesn't do much for Chile because Chile is eliminated from the championship. They won only 2 duels when they needed 3 duels, and the US is also eliminated from the championship because they needed 4 duels, but still they will have good standings. And a match point is a match point against a tough team. 2 upsets against incredibly strong Chilean players. That's definitely something to congratulate Team United States for. And with this exactly, France and Argentina guarantee the playoffs. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but because my stream crashed, I need to now set up my piano again. There's going to be a congratulation to the United States in the form of the national anthem. Maybe we will do a Chilean anthem sometime next year when we stream a Chile's match and Chile actually wins. But so far it's not happening just yet. What else? Elias is saying it's only left who plays from Group A. Actually, Group B is also not completely clear-cut, although I hope that we'll be able to take care of it. Anyway. Alrighty. First of all, tell me if you can hear the piano all right. Sound coming through? Okay, yes. So alrighty, let me just put this one over here. All right, for the national anthem of the United States. Congratulations to Team USA. And for Chile, hopefully you'll manage to win next time. And by the next time, I'll try to learn the Chilean anthem by heart. Because had Chile won today, I would have been forced to use the sheet music. All right, yes, in the land of the free and the home of the brave. Of course, I always forget to turn the mic back after playing the anthem, but you know, it's just the second/third time after we've done this a while. I'll try to remember everything. Thanks for everybody who was staying until the end. Congratulations to Team United States, and well done Chile for making it close. So now we're gonna do look at the tournament table and just confirm all this insider talk that has been happening in the chat. So, of course, the results have not appeared yet, but we can see that United States was at 14 duels won and 16 duels lost. Now, instead of -2, they're going to have -1. They have 4 matches won, the same as France. But because France is 6 duels up, they have won 18 duels and lost 12 duels. the worst that they can do in their upcoming match is to lose 0 versus 5, in which case they'll lose 5 points and they will be still at +1. So France is guaranteed to be in the playoffs. And so is Argentina, because Chile now lost their 7th match. They're 3 out of 7. United States will be on 4th place in the group, which still matters. It's still a respectable result. And not only it matters for your self-esteem, but also it matters on the way groups will be drawn in the next year's World Team Online Carcassonne Championships. The better you do this year, the higher seed you're going to be next year. And if you're higher seeded, then you get, well, maybe not as strong opponents as you would have gotten otherwise. And Team Belgium and Greece still have a shot for 5th place. They could technically overtake Chile if they win with a high enough difference, although I don't think it's really realistic. Chile, after losing today's match, is on 3-4-7, but it has very good tiebreakers. It was at +4, now it is at +3. And then the next contender for 5th, which is Belgium, they're at -4. As you can see, 13 duels won, 16 duels lost. If they were to win even 5-0, they will still be at only +1. So in fact, it does seem that Chile has guaranteed the 5th place, and everything has been decided in Group T. About the other groups, we're going to talk at a different time, because I will be streaming more this weekend. For example, China-Catalonia in Group B. That's the stream for Sunday morning. It still kind of matters. I mean, for Catalonia a little bit, for the self-esteem, but for China, if they win, they're the first in the group, and if they lose, they're not the first in the group, so that's a big deal. I'm also streaming Spain versus Ukraine, which will matter for one of the teams depending on how Latvia plays against Poland. More about that in my future streams. Elias is saying you need a Chilean to join as co-host. Possibly. Yeah, Edgar is saying so far we're 0 for 3 when Alexey's streaming. Well, don't shoot the messenger, guys. It was all Alan's fault, okay? I can say that he's not here. So... oh yeah, you know what I forgot to show you? Well, I didn't forget, but obviously. Fantasy 5. Remember we're doing this championship-wide Carcassonne Fantasy Carcassonne game with all of our viewers. No, that's the wrong document. Never mind. Fantasy Carcassonne, there we are. And there have been some developments. It has gotten a little bit tighter. So here we are. As you can see, Craft Giraffe is still doing quite well. 2 points ahead the rest of the field. And also he's not actually participating in the championship, unlike everybody else over here, almost. And that's because, well, Mikhail Rusin, Mars 15, and Medusa Hope, they won their games. Actually, no, Medusa Hope wasn't playing, I think. Matt Tucker has been doing a little bit better. Already in 2nd place. That's because he bet on himself and he won his duel. Of course, Team UK has already been eliminated from the championship. They still will have one more match this week against Team Hungary, but after that, that's going to be it. It's going to be somebody else in the playoff. And then after that, another Brit triple ever, captain of Team Hungary, Josef Tihon, Bogdan Kurkan, who bet on his brother quite successfully. And then I'm just going to scroll through everybody so that you can see where you are in the standings. The number next to each participant is the standing of that player in the previous week. So as you can see, there have been some changes. Everybody who has bet on me, on Alexey, has been doing slightly better because finally I'm able to have a positive balance because I won my duel last time. It was actually quite a big deal because we ended up winning the match against the Brits, which really put us much, much closer to the much desired playoffs. Also, as a fantasy Carcassonne player, I'm not doing too bad. Just for the sake of it, I decided to also pick my fantasy 5. That's Mars 15, Medusa, Hope, Krishna, GDLK, who lost today, so I'll be losing a fantasy points, unfortunately. Yeah, you see, don't blame me for Chile's loss. Like, it was in my best interest. I had literally bet on a Chilean player, but didn't work out. And I also bet on the Chinese player with the screen name Dr. Taihan. The Collective Wisdom pick, which was doing pretty much abysmally, now has been doing slightly better when the Japanese players managed to rack up a couple of wins, and both someone you know and Alexey restored their positive balance after this early second round loss. And of course, Mikhail Rus of RCP has been absolutely crushing it. The second collective pick is doing more or less alright. That was Mars 15, Medusa, Hope, Krishna, Tsokonero, Pronom, Faible. And out of all the players, there is only one who has won every single duel in all 6 rounds before. That's Marco Rivas Manarori, who I think is in the chat. Hello. So, Vihei is saying, do you want to stream Germany, Japan tomorrow? I cannot make it due to time. I will be playing Carcassonne somewhere else. Anyway, I just can't make it. But I think Craft Giraffe might stream it. You got to check the streaming schedule. We're going to do it right after this. There's an interesting developments in that group as well. Elias saying is that all Mexicans are Germans. That's true, because, well, if Germany wins against Japan, then it's quite likely that Japan surprisingly does not qualify. So Germany could make championship history tomorrow. Elias is saying, oh yes, of course, I wanted to play the US anthem. That was my best interest. But next time I'll try to, learn the Chilean anthem by heart as well. I have downloaded the sheet music and practiced it, just not by heart. Alrighty, I'm gonna close off this in a second, and the final thing we're gonna do today is look at the streaming schedule. So what are we having here? I've already said that I'm streaming these matches on Sunday. Well, there's Peru versus Belgium from Craft Giraffe. And I guess that's about it. Of course, Latvia versus Poland, you have to watch as well. I'm not going to be streaming for obvious reasons. Of course, I'm not going to be announcing the lineup anytime soon, but there is a chance I might be on it. Who knows? But yeah, maybe somebody will stream Germany versus Japan. I don't know. I would have loved to have done it, but can't make it, unfortunately. Did I forget anything? No, I don't think so. First of all, I have to thank all of you for enduring through the technical difficulties and bearing with me. I will see what I can do on my part to reduce them. Yeah, what else? What else? Meeple the like button if you like this video. And in case you're here for the first time, I guess some of you might be, then, you know, we're doing this stuff all the time. If you're thinking of streaming, Elias, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. I mean, if you can actually wake up for it, that'll be pretty cool. But I'll also gotta maybe also somebody needs to gently nudge Craft Giraffe into doing this, perhaps. But I agree, Germany versus Japan is a match that needs to be covered. Surely, okay to wake up at 8 a.m. Well, anyway, if you have Meeple the like button, that's gonna be it for today. Yeah, like, thank you so much for watching. I really mean it. And I'm gonna see you soon.